Growing up, I loved a lot of the horror icons like Jason, Freddy, and Michael. However, there was one character that I was too terrified to even look at, let alone watch their movies. Ever since I saw his face on a poster at my local video store, it took me years to get over it. Chucky, the killer doll, was the scariest thing during my childhood.
What are you, fucking nuts?
Dolls, ventriloquist dummies, puppets, anything of the sorts freaked me out, but Chucky was by far the scariest to me. I eventually got over it, and now he's honestly one of my favorite slashers. His dark sense of humor is great, and Brad Dourif always knocks it out of the park as the voice. And yeah, while the premise of a killer doll is absurd, I like the movies. Most of them. So to kick off my month of horror, I want to begin with ranking the Child's Play films from worst to best. Number 7, Seed of Chucky. This should not come as a surprise to anyone who's a fan of the series. For those who aren't, stay as far the fuck away as possible from this movie. It tries to pride itself on being a horror comedy, but it falls flat on its face in both departments. Fails hard at trying to be funny, and the only thing that's horrifying about it is that it's horrifyingly bad. Chucky and his bride Tiffany meet their child Glenn, or Glenda. I don't know, I'm not even gonna go into that because I'm sure someone's gonna get offended in the process. Anyways, between that mess and the meta humor they try to do with Jennifer Tilly, the voice of Tiffany playing herself in the movie is just awful. There is literally no redeeming qualities about this one. Number 6, Cult of Chucky. The most recent Chucky film to be released, and after the previous film Curse of Chucky breathed life back to the character after the abomination of Seed, fans had high hopes for this one, but for me, it just wasn't good. You slowly start to find out through the movie there's multiple Chuckies running around this insane asylum where the protagonist of the previous film, Nika, is being held. The bullshit answer Chucky gives on finding a spell in Voodoo for Dummies to possess more dolls is horribly lazy writing. And the return of Alex Vincent playing Andy Barclay from the first two films is anticlimactic as he's dumbed down and you see Alex's child acting was way better than his adult acting. The rest of the characters, besides Nika, are forgettable and the kills are just okay to me. Number 5, Curse of Chucky. From here on, I genuinely like these entries. Curse was an enjoyable return to being a straight up horror movie after the previous two dabbled in horror comedy. It has a cool haunted house feel, and I think it has some of the best cinematography of the franchise, which is crazy since this was a direct to video release. Nika is the best protagonist since Andy, and you truly root for her as her family begins to be killed off. There's a neat twist about halfway through the movie that I won't spoil, but I thought it was a good addition. While I do like the movie, it's low on the rank because it has some major problems. The acting from everyone not named Fiona Dourif is atrocious. The look of Chucky is so weird. And there are inconsistencies that bug the crap out of me, like the stuffing that flies out of Chucky after being stabbed, and reapplying his head after it's cut off. Previous movies established rules that this one does not follow. Number 4, Child's Play 3. A lot of people really hate this one, and I never understood it. I don't mind the military camp setting change as Chucky hunts down Andy Barclay but finds a new body to inherit, Tyler. No, not me. This kid. Chucky has some great one-liners, and his kill of the creepy barber is one of my favorites. I love the third act at the carnival inside the haunted house ride as it has what is probably the best defeat of Chucky. There's stupid shit like paintball guns being replaced with real bullets, and the revival of Chucky is dumb. But I get a kick out of watching this one. Number 3, Bride of Chucky. This is the one that introduced Chucky's bride, Tiffany, and it did a hell of a job. The interactions between the two produce more laughs than anything, and that's totally fine. It's a horror comedy done right. It's self-aware of how ridiculous of a concept it is, but doesn't fly too off the handle like Seed. It becomes a bit of a road trip movie as Chucky and Tiffany travel to find an amulet that can remove them from their doll bodies. They leave a bloody trail behind them while their human chauffeurs are none the wiser that it's their plastic passengers causing the mayhem. We also get the stitched Chucky look for the first time, and it's really badass. Great new look for Chucky after a 7-year hiatus. Number 2, Child's Play. The original is the only one that doesn't have a comedic undertone and focuses more on building a creepy atmosphere. After Charles Lee Ray is gunned down in a toy store, he transfers his body into a good guy doll that ultimately ends up in the hands of little Andy Barclay. As mysterious deaths start to happen, people suspect Andy to be the culprit while he clings on to the notion that Chucky did it. It has one of the best reveals when Andy's mother realizes Chucky has been working without batteries.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch! filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
I still think to this day it's pretty creepy in parts and builds to a good finale as the Barkleys attempt to kill Chucky with everything they've got. And my #1 Child's Play film is Child's Play 2. This is truly Chucky at his best. It no longer focuses on the mystery of whether or not the doll is alive. We know Chucky is the villain right from the start, and we know he's on the warpath to take over Andy's soul. This gives us time to enjoy shenanigans Chucky gets into and the kills he shells out. His overall personality is fleshed out way more here. He's an evil bastard, but his smart-ass comments and actions are entertaining as hell. And the final act in the Good Guy Toy Factory is amazing. It is absolute insanity. If I'm ever in the mood to watch a Child's Play movie, 9 times out of 10, I'll put this one in because it's just too much fun. Well, that's all I got for this franchise ranking. If there are fans of the series out there, I would love to read how you rank the movies. Next week, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 Freddy Krueger Kills over on Retro Prime. In 2 weeks, I'll be back here to rank the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Hope you guys stay tuned because there's lots more coming in this month of horror. Peace!